Okay, I'm back for part 3. I have my other 2 books, and I have my Sharkleberry. Can't even talk. If you are a child of the 90s, Sharkleberry Finn, if you remember, it is back. And yes, it is in a Tupperware cup. We are cleaning out my mother's house, and I found the Tupperware cups, and they came home with me. So this right here is youth. Sharkleberry Finn Kool-Aid. I made it with Splenda, so it's not terrible. Tupperware. Makes me think of summer sitting out on the back porch with my friend down the street. Okay, these are the 2 holdovers from the Family Saga portion of my haul. We have The Constant Star by Patricia Struther. It has a bookmark in it because, like I said, I was going to try to read it. This one is, I don't know that it says how many generations. Sweeping saga of a passion that broke through all barriers and a family that triumphed over all odds. But it does go through New York WASP aristocracy, the Jewish Lower East Side. This is their story of passion, a marriage that was a test of love. Spanning 2 continents and 5 dramatic decades, so 5 decades, of dreams and desires, conflict and change. And then the last one of the Family Saga. This one can technically go in the Western, but I'm going to do it as Family Saga because it is 3 orphan siblings that were from Schenectady. Very random that they're from Schenectady. And get put on an orphan train out west to get a new start, a new family. But it is Clay, Drew, and Zoe. And I believe that they go to, I want to say Colorado. I did read about a dozen pages of it. And it is the floppy. Okay. And these are going to be random, contemporary, not really, just hodgepodge. We have Palo Verde by Jacqueline Briskin, which if you watch Melissa's channel, I know her Instagram is Libraries and Labradors. She had this on one of her videos, I'm wanting to say, and I happened to find it, and it is the second. Good old thrift books is coming in clutch for the fill-ins that I need from this haul. But this one is a kind of an old school classic Hollywood. I'm wanting to say the 20s. We are in the 20s. Is that not crazy? Let's say it starts in 1884. So I guess it goes up to Golden Age. You could stuff this into the Family Saga as well because it's 2 brothers who meet a beautiful heiress. And I guess she has to pick one of the 2 brothers. Again, you're going to hear loudmouth cats. Sorry. We have Irish Gold by Andrew Greeley. My mother had one of his books in her stash when I was a kid. I remember. I'm not sure which one. But I was like, oh, I know that name. I'm going to go ahead and pick this one up. And it is one of those that just has review blurbs on the back. Doesn't actually tell you what it's about, which is fine. I can go into it blindly. See if it tells us when it starts. It doesn't. Then we have Daybreak by Belva Plain. This one is, I'm wanting to say a contemporary romance. Contemporary in a sense that it was published in the 90s. 94. But basically, their son has to go through blood tests because he is dying, and it says blood tests prove that he's not their child. I'm not sure how that works out. One of you have to know something went on. I mean, the Hatcher should know that, but I'm not sure. Unless it was a surrogate situation. Again, it was published in 94. So it could be that it was a surrogacy and the wrong things were used, possibly. Think outside the box. Then we have True Colors by Doris Mortman. Kind of like the flowers on that. And this one is two sisters let me try that again. Two sisters whose destinies will send them into separate worlds of darkness and light, love and hate. A spellbinding novel that sweeps us from the sultry heat of Barcelona to the vibrant sunsets of Santa Fe to the posh galleries of Manhattan. True Colors is a rich tapestry of characters and a story of two women who search for passion, revenge, and truth binds them forever. So I guess they are rivaling sisters. I'm always up for some drama. We have Farewell Summer by Helen Hooven Santmeyer. She is the author of And the Ladies of the Club, which I'm not going to lie. I have, I think, 4 copies of it. I know for certain I have 1 hardback and 2 paperbacks. But I think I have an extra hardback floating around somewhere. And have I read it? No. Nope. Never. One of these days. It's just that it's 1,000+ pages, which is daunting. And I think I've tried to start it several times, and I'm thinking, oh my, I have to be in the mood for this because it's going to take a lot of, you can't be distracted and read it. Not that it's written difficult. It was just written in a different style than we are accustomed to in our go multitasking brain society now. So one day. But this one is easy. It's accessible. I think it's just a younger girl short story, and I mean it would not take much effort. Then we have Paradise Lane by Ruth Hamilton. This one is historical. I believe it takes place in Industrial Revolution London. Yes. Around the mills. Like textile mills. Leonie by Elizabeth Adler. Isn't that Grace? Will and Grace? Was it her middle name Elizabeth? Grace Elizabeth Adler, is this you? No. This one is contemporary from Paris to New York to Brazil, Cuba, Cairo, dazzling world of money, passion, and power. A world darkened only by the relentless hunger of one man's obsession, a man determined to possess Leonie. A man who could never love her and never let her go. Then we have, this one came out of a little free library, Last Chance Saloon by Marian Keyes. I've never read Marian Keyes. I had a copy of Watermelon of hers floating around for years and got rid of it. I don't know if I didn't vibe with it or just decided I was not going to bother, but I will give her another try. This one is a ginormous copy from the UK. And we have Scruples by Judith Krantz. I think I have Scruples 2, the sequel, floating around here somewhere. I'll have to go digging. But this one is basically kind of an ugly duckling story. She goes from fat to frumpy to rich and powerful, wealthy, beautiful. One of those typical 1970s, 80s Jackie Collins-esque kind of books. I'm here for that. Then we have, I'll do these ones. Again, these are just randos. Beggar Man Thief by Irwin Shaw. Again, it's one of those that gives you very little, but we're going to tell you what so-and-so thought about it. But it was 10 cents. And I think it had probably buzzwords of suspense, standalone as fictional prose, authentic dialogue, tale of passionate, lustful, ruthless family driven by dark forces. Okay, so family saga. That's probably what got me. So we'll add that to the family saga. This one is falling apart. I tried to like read the first page or so, and I got really worried. So she's probably just gonna sit. I mean, that sounds awful. I may try to carefully read it, but it's the sultry novel of hot days and nights in a southern college town. Missy by Gilbert Terrell. It's one of those pulp. Totally. I read one, oh, it's blanking on me, even though it stares me in the face. A Corpse for Christmas. A 1950s pulp fiction, and it was terrible. It was so awful. I love it. I love the way it looks. I love the cover. My husband made a shadow box for it. There's a story behind it. I won't go into it. But my friend bought me another copy of it that was like still it was old and falling apart from the 70s, so that if I read it and busted it, it was fine. It wasn't the original. Oh my Lord, the misogyny in that book. I'm pretty open-minded. I am not one of those that you have to give me a trigger warning on a book. It is what it is. I appreciate people who need that because everybody has circumstances in their life that they want to avoid. That's cool. I really don't care. But I'm just reading it going, holy baloney, this is terrible. Like, come on. Even the original cover is like him doing this to her, and she's... I'm just glad we're in different times. That... it's just crazy. Okay, then we have Celebrity by Thomas Thompson, a story of fame, passion, and vengeance. Basically, it starts out in 1950, in the 1950 graduating high school class, and then they go on to journalism, religion, celebrity, and apparently in high school there was something that happened in 1950 during graduation. It says a violence and a secret guilt that could destroy them all if found out in their adulthood while they're all living large. Tell me that doesn't sound good. Somebody killed somebody. Something happened. Please tell me it's not rapey. Again, like I said, this one would be appropriate to read now before Sunday. The Boys in the Boat, 9 Americans in Their Epic Quest for Gold at the 1936 Berlin Olympics by Daniel James Brown. And it is floppy. Okay, I had to speed this up. I will definitely have to have a 4th video. Then we have Inner Eclipse by Richard Paul Russo. This one is sci-fi, and it takes place on the planet Nightshade, or centered around the storyline of everybody wants the drug Flex. They want to take it off-world to use it, but they're not supposed to. I have a box full of these cheesy sci-fis down in my storeroom. Like, we always grab at least one at the tent sale. I have a year's worth that I could read, but it just sounded silly and amazing. I don't read many of these at all, but I will. Then we have The New Moon with the Old by Dodie Smith, who wrote I Capture the Castle, which I have 2 copies of I Capture the Castle and I have not read. I need to remedy that. I feel like I will love it. Everybody that I know that talks about it, it's one of their favorites. I just am in brain fog right now that I have no problem buying books, but reading them is a different story. I'll get back to it. I know I will. It's just right now, there's too much on my mind grapes. If you know that reference. Then Catherine the Great by Henry, or it could be Henri Troyet. Troyer. I'm not going to go that far. This one was in a little free library, and I like that there was a little inscription that says, Catherine the Great bought Marietta, Georgia, USA on February the 19th, 91 to learn more about my heritage. And I know that it's someone of European descent by the way that they wrote the date. It says 19-2-91. So we've got that one. Then we have Night Over Water by Ken Follett. This is one of his standalone World War II. Don't have to go into detail on that. And then these, I think I've borrowed a couple of his books, ebooks, and have not jived well. Again, it's kind of like the Helen Hooven Santmeyer. You've got to have quiet time, no distractions to get absorbed in it. And I do not have that in my life. But for 15 cents a piece, I have the option if I want to try. But we have Hawaii by James Michener. They're all beastly, like over 1,000 pages, which all of his books are. Alaska and Chesapeake. Which of the three I would be more inclined to try this one first. Don't know when I'll get to them, but there's options. Yeah, I'm going to cut this here and go to a fourth and final part, which will actually be the largest. I'm going to try to go through it quickest because I don't feel like many of these, not that anybody's heard of some of these, but we'll see. We'll see. You're watching me for a reason. So I'll be back for part 4. Bye.